Guess who's back? Back again. Mitch is back. Hello, friend. 12s, thank you so much for joining us again. Seems like ages since we've done a live. I know it's only been a couple of weeks and it's been busy all time, but my name's Josh. This is the 12 Talk podcast, and with me is my partner in crime, Mitch. Mitch, how's it going, dude?
Very good, mate. Very good. It's all gone a bit quiet on the NFL front, hasn't it? But we do have a lot to discuss tonight, at least with the schedule stuff and some rumors and things that are flying around. But yeah, no, I'm very well. I'm enjoying the NFL off season and not having huge amounts of spreadsheets and things to put together like I usually do. Yeah, very, very good, mate. What about yourself?
Busy, yeah, busy. My wife's away in Amsterdam for her 30th birthday, so it's been solo dadding again. She's just been away to New Zealand for 2 weeks, so why not have a weekend in Amsterdam as well? If she listens to this ever, then I'm really sorry. Don't hurt me. But yeah, no, it's been good actually. The sun's been shining. It's been absolutely lovely here down in sort of on the Essex coast, and I've had my daughter out all day. We went to a skate park meet. So at the age of 4, she's become a skater girl, and we got there a bit too late for her heats, but the guy squeezed her in at the end of the under 10s, just kind of a little run up and down the ramps. It was actually really nice. But yeah, just been looking out for as much Seahawk news as possible. Obviously, the schedule's been released, so today we will be looking through that schedule. We're doing a schedule breakdown. We've got a couple of news bits as well that we'll probably touch on first, if I'm honest. And then at the end, for anyone who tuned into our last pod, where I had the absolute pleasure of speaking to Clinton Bonner from the Seahawkers pod, we capped that off with a little 12 Talk movie quote quiz in honor of John Schneider and Mike Mack, due to their little dynamic where they don't get each other's movie quotes. So I thought I'd challenge all of our guests to one. And as Mitch is on here with me every single week, I'm going to challenge him to it as well this week.
And I'm going to be terrible as well.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. But as always, we are working with the UK Seahawkers. If you are not a member and you're a UK Seahawks fan, by all means, go and hit them up. They're absolutely fantastic. They've just had their annual meet up in Newark on Trent for the small fee of £12. £12. Pay it on PayPal. Bosh. Done. You get some lovely goodies, including what is on the screen currently. You get a nice wristband. You get your throwback patch and our RFD. I can never get it right. That card that stops you getting scammed when you're in the subway or anything. And you get your membership card. And here are a couple of members of the lovely UK Seahawkers representing with the C-Jack, which I've got behind me as well. And during this meetup, they do also have a raffle as well. These are some of the prizes that were available. We've got a signed KJ Wright program there, a fantastic metal Seahawks helmet, which I think looks pretty cool. You've got the custom cap as well, and you've got the wristbands and the salute to service helmet. Just a couple of things that you could get if you joined, and if you do come along. We will be there next year. This year, obviously, as I said, I was on dad duties, so there was no way of me getting out of that. And I think it was just a bit short notice for Mitch. So next year, Mitch, we are there with bells on. Hopefully people that are watching this in the UK or follow us or are part of our Discord. That's right. We do have a Discord pinned post on our X. Go ahead, join. There's loads of people joining there now. Some really good conversations happening. And I'm pretty sure we've probably got a few members of our Discord that might be watching. So if so, how's it going? Before we go any further, and due to the excellent feedback that we're getting with this, I want to say a massive shout out again to Slim Genix for it. But shall we hit that theme music, Mitch?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Lovely job. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in on the live. If you're not on the live and you want to catch this, I will release the recording as well. But if you are feel free, like, subscribe, get in the comments as well. Whatever we discuss, if you've got an opinion, let us know and we will put it on the screen. We'll read it out. This is a community podcast. It's by 12s, for 12s, with 12s. So we'll get into all that stuff. And if you do like what we do and you want to, feel free, buy us a coffee, buy us a beer, pizza, book. I don't know what the options are on that website at the moment. We're not a money-making enterprise. Everything that you do send to us will be put straight back into the pod to help us produce this beautiful thing. So, Mitch, couple of bits of news.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, and because I am a massive, as anyone who has seen everything I wear and pretty much own, a bit of a merch fiend. On X, there was a leak from, is it CFESPN? I'll have to research that.
That was the source, yeah. And you're referring to the white throwback concept that was thrown out, and it looks glorious,
doesn't it? I wish I had a picture to put up. I honestly thought of this before because I've been out all day, and I thought, we have to discuss it, because with the way the throwback uniform was received last year, and you can ask anyone, a lot of the merch was just flying off the stands. People couldn't get it through Fanatics UK, Europe, anything. There was a massive waiting list. I have a feeling that this white jersey will do the exact same.
I agree.
And it looks stunning. So pretty. Just I like the fact that they've actually used the white. They've got the Seahawks on the sleeves, but it seems the green they're using seems to be the action green. I don't know if that's going to be the way they'll do it, but yeah.
Well, I just hope that they do it, because there's obviously the Mitchell and Ness version of the throwback already on the shops, but that didn't stop them putting out the new version of the throwback. So you can essentially get that shirt already, but it is not as polished and clean as the concept that was put out. And I think they've essentially just gone and taken the Mitchell and Ness blue version and looked at what was adapted and changed, and they've used the exact same styling of that conversion and applied it to the white one, and it just looks so good. So I really do hope that's coming. But from what I've heard from certain people, I believe that's being lined up for next year rather than this year. But you never know, right? We like to do things a bit differently in the Pacific Northwest to other teams, and it wouldn't surprise me if there was a big launch in the off season for that.
Well, the rumors were we were going to be releasing a new jersey with our first round draft pick, but obviously Byron Murphy wasn't there, so it's very hard to release that if he's not going to be on stage in front of all the media. So let's wait and see. Hopefully, the media team at the Seahawks have been fantastic. Those superhero mock-ups that they did for sort of the schedule release, chef's kiss. I thought some of them were fantastic. Some of them, if it was me, I'd be like, what have you done this for?
I hated the promo video. I think it's the promo video with Spoon and Woolen and Charles Cross was a very difficult watch, to be honest.
It was high on the cringe factor. I watched it once and went, well, I'm not watching that again, but at least I can say I've watched it. But yeah, that was sort of so the first bit of news that we just wanted to sort of just gloss over there was the possible new unis. Speaking about Byron Murphy, the rookie premiere, or premiere, or whatever they want to call it, had their invites, and there was a notable absentee from our Seahawks. Now, to my knowledge, it's just a matter of getting those highly drafted or highly talked about rookies together for a photo shoot in their uniform, getting them throwing some balls or doing what they do. So my boy Latu was there. Obviously, you had Williams, you had all the QBs basically were there, obviously. But Byron Murphy, he's going to use this as fuel, is what he's saying. And for me, and obviously there's a lot of talk about it in the Twitter X sphere and everything else, but from a marketing point of view, you're going to want people there for videos and photo shoots that can throw a ball, catch a ball, and is electric off the edge, can do something like a Latu. He's a great story. having a defensive lineman picked at 16 to be in a photo shoot, there's not really a lot you can do with him. So I kind of see the logic in it. I don't necessarily agree because our boy's missing out on it, but yeah.
Do you feel a little bit like, because he didn't have his moment on the stage and he didn't go to the actual, first round, he wasn't there in the green room, and he opted to stay home with family. And sometimes when you opt out of things like that, you don't necessarily stand out for an invite for the next thing. And this would be the third thing now, because he wasn't at the draft, he wasn't at the premiere, and he was also missed off the NFL's article about the leaders for potential rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. There's another thing that he's been missed out from. He's almost become a bit of a forgotten man in that first round draft class, as far as the media's concerned. He's just dropped off the radar. Not for Seahawks. Seahawks are ecstatic about it, and we're completely tuned into every bit of news we can get about him at the moment and whatnot. But honestly, I feel like from the moment he didn't attend the draft, he's just become B-list amongst that first round.
Yeah, it seems to be a not very marketable presence, because he's just like, he appears to be, I say he appears to be all business, and on the football field, as long as he is, that's fine, because I just see a lot of his Instagram with him with the grills and the rings and the flashy watches and the Bugatti, and then him at a party with all of his boys. And fair play, you've just been drafted to the NFL. If you can do it, do it. Just make sure the football speaks as well. Yeah, I think he might have just been a bit sort of blacklisted due to him going, I'm not doing this, I'm not going there, I don't want to do that either. So yeah, and they've gone, fine. So if that's the case, let them blackball him, let them like put a big X through his name, going no promo, and then let him just shine. And if he has a stellar season like Spoon did and is shunned for defensive rookie of the year, oh my lord, there will be
there's nothing we could say about it though, because it happens every year now. Like it's so common that we draft someone, they excel, but statistically they're right up there, but in terms of recognition they're less marketable, and NFL not interested. It happens every year.
It's weird, isn't it? Well, let's see if we win a Super Bowl and see if they become interested in who we pick them and what we're doing. The last piece, and this is like pure hyperbole. This is pure sort of speculation at the moment. I sent you something the other day which I saw on X, and I thought a bit weird. A possible reunion with Jamal Adams. Someone posted that the Seahawks have signed or are due to sign a 1-year, $4 million deal. I'm still not sure how I feel about it, which is why I wanted to chew it up with you, Mitch, because I know you'll talk some sense to me.
Well, first of all, the post that was, there was a post, and then there was two others that followed it, sort of 12 hours later. None of them are verified. None of them have turned out to be factual. In our Discord, we've got Charlie Wilson there, who works for the Express?
The Mirror and the Express.
Mirror. Works for the Mirror and the Express as a NFL writer, as well as the UFC as well, and NBA as well. Is it NBA as well for him?
We'll have to ask him. Charlie, if you're watching, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. But either way, Charlie works for the newspapers in England and covers the NFL, or in the UK, I should say. And he had a few things to say about the Jamal Adams rumors. He did confirm that we have made an offer. He has also confirmed that we've told him if he re-signs with us, he will be playing will linebacker. And he also told us that there was only $900,000 guaranteed in the offer that we'd given, and it was heavily incentivized by appearances, playoff berth, things like that. All reasonably obtainable, but reliant on his health and sustained actual playing time.
Yeah.
And Charlie's also said that he believes that the offers from the Dallas Cowboys and the Niners have more guaranteed money and are less incentivized. and looking at his ego and the way that's kind of always been there as a big factor, that looks to be making his decision for him. Plus, he'll get to play something closer to his actual position there, I would have thought. So,
which is
I'm not going to be
a safety who can't catch. A safety who can play really well on the line of scrimmage.
If he does play.
Blitz really well when healthy, especially when he's got someone else taking up the blockers. If he's going to sign for someone else and they go, we want you to play strong safety for us, cool, go and do that, Prez, because we all know how well that's worked for you. I can't remember. I think it was Hawkmania. He put something on X. It was talking all about the disconnect between Jamal Adams with Pete Carroll and John Schneider. And John Schneider wanted him to play at linebacker. Pete Carroll was like, no, I want to play him at safety. Who knows why? Because largely he was ineffective. He's not a traditional safety anymore. Like strong safety, you look at a bigger unit, someone who can come downfield, smash people in the mouth, make sure that they don't want to run towards them. And then as an added extra, if they can blitz, cool. But Jamal had the blitz, and in coverage, throw at him, you'd be like, it's never going to be an interception. He's got fused fingers. The rest of his hands are made of stone as well. Now, like you said, I think the ego is going to take in now, and it might just be a matter of, I know how injured I've been. I know my longevity may not be where it is, and I need to take as much money as I can, because he didn't make enough money from us cutting him. Obviously,
clearly not. And Robbie in our Discord from the Let's Talk Seahawks podcast had some strong opinions on it as well, and he was saying he thought it would be a mistake to re-sign him in any capacity, given that his behaviour in the media towards the end of the last contract, and the fact that he effectively gave up on the team, while injured, wouldn't come to games if he actually was injured, and that wasn't just an excuse. He's to all intents and purposes just gave up on the team, and that was someone that we'd sort of pegged as a leader in that locker room, and when it came down to it, showed absolutely no leadership traits at all. So there's enough red flags for me to not want it to happen, just like Robbie had said, but also the benefit of what we've done and the way we've approached it is we've said, if you are coming back, it's this and it's this. And we've not gone, oh, well, okay, yeah, fair enough. You're talking to the Niners. We'll give you this. We've just gone, no, that's what's on the table. See how your market is. If you want to come back, the door's open, but it's going to be this.
That's sure. I think it speaks verses. I mean, I love Quandre Diggs. I think he is a fantastic teammate. He was great for the team. It's just his performance wasn't where it needs to be, and I don't think he fits into a Mike Mack system. But when you look at the fact Quandre's still out there and Adams is still out there, I think that speaks verses for him, based on how much money we were paying for them. And because Quandre still hasn't signed, there's rumors about the Lions, but who knows? And Jamal's still out there. I just don't see, as a sports coach, looking at the way Adams was, as you said, he's not the type of person, if I'd taken over a team, I wouldn't want to bring an old poison back in. It's like you're flushing the system, they're out, get rid. But I'll bring that drop of poison back in just to poison the whole well again, and then have to try and rework it. No, I think.
Can you imagine how that conversation would go with Mike Mack and John? Like, so Jamal wants to come back. Yeah, there's an offer on the table. Yeah, okay, we cut him, right? Yeah. So why do we want him back? Well, where'd you go? Where'd you go from there? What good do you say? Was he available and reliable? Well, no. Was he a leader? No, he wasn't. Was he consistent with his performances when he was on the field? No, he wasn't.
The first season he was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And if he started asking, okay, so what really happened at the end of the season there? Because he wasn't there on the sideline, and was he injured? Or if you start digging into that, what part of the answers are you listening to and thinking, yeah, you're right, let's get him back? There's nothing. There's no good news there.
The only thing I could think of from John's point of view would be we have not got enough class at linebacker, and we need more. And he has always been the same as I've said for years. Jamal should be a linebacker. Will linebacker, fine. But I have a feeling that Mike Mack's rebuttal would just be, but you've seen how I can change my team around. If I have 3 linebackers, let's say, even though we know we've got more, 3 of my first team linebackers, if I go down to 2 or they're ineffective, I use more safeties. I move people around that way. I put people in different positions to cover those deficiencies in those jobs. Like, what's the point in bringing this person back? That's kind of the way I'd look at it. If I was building a new philosophy, putting in new sort of schemes and whatnot, I'd go, I don't need that. I don't need him. I don't need everything you've just said.
To play devil's advocate on that, I think in a way it kind of would be perfect for Mike Mack, because if you think about it, when Jamal Adams was lined up as a safety, quarterbacks were licking their lips thinking, right, well, who's the matchup for Jamal Adams here? Because when I go through my checkdowns, I'm gonna pay particular attention to the person that he's going to have to pick up, because I know he's a liability in coverage. Or, you know, if that matchup is perfect, I know I've got a completion there. So you become very confident in one of your options immediately, right? So pre-snap, you've already got an extra hot route. You know, the hot route might be someone on the outside who's got a good matchup already, but you know that your check down, you know, on a shallow cross being picked up by Jamal Adams is a favourable route on that tree. So in Mike Mack's system, that's completely different, because the quarterback has no idea at the snap whether he's a linebacker or a safety. Is he blitzing? Is he dropping into coverage? You can't pick on Jamal Adams's deficiencies anymore, because it is anybody's guess what he's doing on any given snap. And whilst we criticize his coverage skills as a safety, as a will linebacker, he is above average with coverage skills. So still can't catch a ball, granted. But
damn you and your logic, Mitch. Just no.
But I'm with you anyway. I was just contradicting you to make this the case.
Oh yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers. Yeah, cheers. But anything we're saying here, if you're watching, by all means, let us know in the comments. Just a very quick one from one of our regular viewers, listeners, and member of the Discord. Everyone always writes off Seattle. They do, but then for the last few years, they've had a right to, because we have settled into mediocrity. Let's hope that is not the case now. So, true. I mean, with that, I think they're the main bits of news, to be honest. It's that really slow, boring season within the NFL, where we've had rookie mini camps. We've got sort of the OTAs are coming in. Well, they're happening now. And it's just a wait and see. But with that, we have had a schedule release. Now, before I punish you with movie quiz questions, Mitch, do you want to talk about a schedule?
Yeah, let's do that. Something I actually know something about.
So 2024, what we'll do, we'll go through these sort of one by one, and shall we attach a W or an L to them?
Yeah, I've gone through each and got some takes on each, and I've given a prediction, not necessarily for score, but just my take on what I think the record's going to be after certain points.
There you go. So we start on the September the 8th at home against the Broncos again.
It's a win.
Yeah.
Next, no. The note I've got on the Denver Broncos here is it is the first of 5 new quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, that we will play this year. We play them on week 1, and the funny thing about this one for me is that our defensive looks are going to confuse ourselves on week 1. I expect busted coverages and funky moments that will result in us conceding points we didn't need to concede. However, what better way to confuse a rookie quarterback than not even knowing what you're doing yourself? So I think we fumble our way to a win here, with both teams having sort of teething issues. That's my take on this one. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think we defensively, it might look a bit foreign. Even offensively, it might look a bit foreign because of the new schemes and systems and coordinators in place. But I think we get a win here.
Yep.
Unless Sean Payton has pulled this weird masterstroke and found his perfect QB like he did with Breeze, just a mediocre QB who can sit in the pocket and just fire passes around. But then I don't have faith in their receiving core to do it.
It may not even be Nick's. It may not even be. It may not even be next week. Week 1.
Jared Stidham.
It might be Stiddy. Big Stiddy. Yeah. But either way, that is still some sort of leveler while we're learning offense and defense and special teams, because it's all going to be new.
I'll take that. I mean, for that first one, I think we've both got that down as a win.
Yep.
Right. And then on September 15th, we've got the old enemy, the New England Patriots. Now, we're no longer with Bill Belichick. Gerard Mayo is now in charge in the seat, and they've also got a new QB in Drake May.
Copy paste my opinion from
these first two are cutting teeth. That's all they are. It's cutting our teeth. It's finding out where our system works, where it doesn't work, who fits in best. And I have this one down as another W for me.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. And I want to add one more thing into the Broncos game. Sorry, I know we've moved on, but there's a point. So we make a lot of noise at Lumen Field. We're famous for it. Everybody knows it. It's designed to limit the communication of QBs pre-snap, and that plus Mike Mack is an absolute marriage made in heaven. We are going to confuse the crap out of teams, and they are not going to be able to talk to each other to help solve that puzzle, and the clock will be ticking. We'll have false starts, confused quarterbacks, and all sorts when we're good at it.
Yeah.
Week 1, our own defense are not going to be able to talk to each other about our system, so that is going to be mayhem. Week 2, we might actually gain a little bit from that, in that we'll have a game under our belt with the experience in the new defensive system, and we may just be able to actually talk to ourselves and coordinate a bit better with a week's experience behind us. So I think we scrambled through that one as well, but with different problems. But I do think the home advantage with the noise is going to really pay dividends with our defensive disguise as well.
It's only home advantage with the noise on the first game, isn't it? And then the second game we're away at Gillette Field, or whatever they've called it now. And then the third game on September 22nd at home against all the speed Miami Dolphins. This for me is going to be, I'm going to say, looking at who we're playing, I think possibly the biggest test of this defense. Obviously, we know the Niners, we'll get onto them after, but I think with the sheer speed they've got on the outside, this is going to be where Mike Mack's going to need to be at his best to shut that down somehow.
Yeah.
And you know what? As you plunge yourself into darkness.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was weird.
I really loathe saying this. I have this down as an L.
Yeah, me too. I've put some notes here. I've put offensive speed and system familiarity versus busted coverage is going to be really unforgiving. No room for recovery. If an assignment's missed for a split second, we'll get punished for the maximum. Highly unforgiving game. But hello, welcome back, Jordan Brooks. Are my notes. So a nice early visit from Jordan Brooks, and also a few house calls probably from Tyreek Hill, to be honest with you.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I can't remember who the other one the one they just drafted was as well. And then they've got Devin A-Chain, they've got Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, I think we need to also look at this as the first extreme test of our new run D as well. So it's very it's going to be very interesting. This also potentially very painful. I do think we'll put up points against them, though. I genuinely think we'll put up some points. So
do I. Against their
I don't
defense,
think.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that it's 2-1 currently. In fact, you know what?
Mhm.
I'll take it. And then the next game, September 3rd, unless you've got more notes.
No. That was me done with that.
Next game, September 30th, we are away at Ford Field to play the rising Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this making it 2-2 for us.
I do too, and it pains me to do it because our record in recent years has been superb, and I'm not going to say the quality of the game. I'm going to say the entertainment factor of the recent high scoring close games we've had with them have been superb. But I've put here that we only have high scoring classic games usually that we win with the Lions. Both of the previous Lions games have been won by Seahawks pick sixes, one for Trey Brown and one for Tariq Woolen. So I know they weren't the scoring plays, but both games had that swing, that swing that you could only really get, that the quality of swing in a game that only comes from a turnover that results in points for the defense. We had that on both games, and it was the deciding factor. I now think that the Lions have probably progressed to a point after last year where they are ahead of us in their development and their familiarity with scheme and coaches and all sorts. And this comes a bit early for us in the year. Plus, it's away, and they've got a lot of vengeance to seek in that game, I think.
In my opinion, they're NFC title contenders now.
Yeah,
I think they've come on so well under Campbell, and they've got another season with Ben Johnson's offense. Yeah, obviously Jimmy Gibbs started coming into his own as well. I just think, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown's now the highest paid wide receiver ever in the NFL, if I'm right by saying that, with his new contract.
Mad as well, yeah.
So that's us 2-2. If you're watching, let us know if you think you agree with us, if you don't, and if you don't, tell us why. Week 5 on October the 6th, we are at home to the first of the New York teams, the ones who have just released one of the most awful alternate uniforms I've ever seen. Very, very close to the Pittsburgh Steelers Bumblebee uniform, the New York Giants. And this is the return of another former Seahawks player in Drew Lock.
Yeah. Do we think he plays?
I
wouldn't think so, but I feel like they conned him into joining, and when there was no starting job there for him, because I really do think he'd have preferred to stay in Seattle if he was going to be a backup. I feel like they've scammed him a bit.
I think Seattle were all aboard the Howell train at that point, and the fact that he was there, he was just like, well, what do I do now? Fight to be the third QB or go somewhere else? And they've gone, go, and then they've roped him in by saying, oh, you get to challenge to be the starting QB, even though we've paid Daniel Jones all this money. It would take Drew Lock to kick himself into 6th gear from 3rd or 2nd for him to start and retain that starting spot. With that being said, I don't see it. With that being said, I've got this down as a big fat W.
Yeah,
we will be eating a W off this one.
Me too, and I hope we can go one better and record 12 sacks on this occasion. It's 11. It's 11 the first time, I think. I've got here we've won 6 out of the last 7 against the Giants, and I've also put that this is where I fully expect our defense to have really kicked on a bit, because it took Mike Mack 7 or 8 games in his first season as defensive coordinator for the Ravens for the system to sort of bed in, the personnel to have got, shuck off the broken coverages and the bad sort of mistakes. I honestly think after a thorough examination of our run D and coverage against the Lions and the Dolphins, a home game against the Giants, is going to be the springboard for the season. I think that's where we sort of, okay, we can beat teams with this defense now, and we can sort of, do you know what I mean? I think the first 2 games, I think, are get your feet wet. The second 2 games are serious tests. And this 5th game feels like back home, easier opponent. What have we learned? Let's put it into practice. I think it starts to look like it should look at this point.
We also get to see how dejected Malik Neighbours is at this point as well in his early NFL career.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to
do.
that. That's that. I'm having that as a W. We then go on to Thursday Night Football on October the 10th against, I want to say, our biggest division rival, but at the moment there's 2 of them with these in LA. Now, with this being Thursday Night Football, this should be a throwback Thursday night. We should wear our throwback blues. They should wear those throwback whites. Beautiful spectacle there. The San Francisco 49ers, sorry. And I have this down. This one gave me the most trouble, if I'm being completely honest, because, like you said, by week 5, I anticipate our defense to start ticking, to really start putting things together and realizing what we're good at, where we need to move, how it all functions in a Mike MacD. And I thought, would that be enough, especially if our run D is greatly improved, would that be enough to get us the win? But I then had a word with myself and went, no, there's still leaps and bounds ahead of us at the moment, especially for this first year with Mike Mack, and I've got that down as another loss.
Yeah, my notes read as, this one comes too soon. Which I think is a very short way of saying pretty much exactly what you've just said. The Giants game prior is going to feel like a bit of a false dawn because we get a bit of a reality check against a seriously good offense. And I think we lose that one at home, and it pains me to say it because I hate them. And no one likes losing in front of their own fans. But I think that one, I think we can have some really good moments in that matchup and build on what we're doing with our defense. Again, it's another superb test. If we get to week 6 and we've got a loss against the Dolphins, a loss against the Lions, and a loss against the Niners, but we've got something out of the game with our new defensive system, our new offense, lessons have been learned, I don't mind that. Honestly, I'm okay with it. It's better than playing an easier side and losing against the easier teams on your schedule while you're learning your defense, and then your reward for finally learning how to play in your defense is, here's all the premium matchups on your schedule. You know, go get some wins now. You know, so I don't mind if we're 3-3 at this point. We've just played the Niners, and our defense is starting to look like it's fit for purpose.
One thing you said about it coming too soon. Now, I agree, because you don't want to get your butt handed to you on week 6 at home. However, playing, like you said, those 3 teams in the Dolphins, the Lions, and the 49ers, based on who we've got coming up as well, that will be really good. Knowing how meticulous Mike Mack is, that'll be good for him to then go away and say, right, these are premium teams that we've lost to. How have we lost? What do we do? What do we need to change? Which I think will help us further down the line this season. Speaking of further down the line, unless you have any more notes for us, sir?
No, it was literally that this one comes too soon. That was it.
That's basically all we need to say. October 20th, week 7, we are away in Atlanta. So the Dirty Birds.
Yes.
See if Ludacris tries to abseil down from the stadium again. And this will be us seeing one of the hometown heroes on the road.
Yes.
In Michael Penix, who, if Kirk Cousins is broken, could be starting at this point.
Yeah, so my first note is here, whether Penix plays or Cousins plays, or both, it will be the 3rd new quarterback we play this year. QB number 3, please. And week 7, I've got us winning this one. We haven't lost to the Falcons at the Falcons since, I don't think we've lost to them since 2012, I think. at their place. We've got 3 wins on the bounce away to the Falcons, dating back to 2012. So it's a happy hunting ground. That franchise have been a stuttering, spluttering sort of franchise. Plenty of talent, poorly put together.
Mind blowing how bad they are with the talent that they've acquired.
Yeah,
a generational tight end like Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and then they don't know how to use them. It baffles. It's like tight ends. Unless you are a specific team, you don't know how to use them.
I think they're it's the worst positional group, I think, across the league for being drafted to the wrong system or being underutilized. There are average tight ends that are 3rd or 4th round tight ends, players like George Kittle, that end up in the right situation and look far better than tight ends taken in the top 15 simply because of the position that they get drafted into.
Well, you look at Travis Kelce, prime example. Mr. Taylor Swift himself is now going to be a Hall of Famer, and he was 3rd or 4th round? I can't remember. But yeah. So I've got that as a W. You've got that as a W. I think let's move on to the next home game, which is on October 27th against the Buffalo Bills. I'm just going to come out with it. I've got this down as a big fat W. I've got it down as a win.
Ooh.
Yep. Because Josh Allen cannot do it all by himself.
Okay. I've got it as a loss, but I've put it as a really close game, and I've got some little truth nuggets for you. Some juicy little truth nuggets, 3 of them. Josh Allen has...
You always make me feel bad.
Josh Allen has never played at Lumen. That's first stat. It's going to be his first. It's going to be his first experience of the noise at Lumen and dealing with it. And I think historically, QB's first time there, no matter how they're told to prepare for it, it always is cranked up a few notches higher than they expect. So that's point number 1. Josh Allen will have his own little learning curve there. I'm also going to make the point that Mike Mack didn't play against the Bills, but he coached the defense of the Ravens against the Bills in 2023. Sorry, I think it was 2022, and it was in that window of games where he was teaching his defensive system to the Ravens. It was in that first sort of 8 games, so it was in that bit where it was a bit ugly. So, point I'm trying to make is Mike Mack has already played this Bills team while teaching his defensive concept. In that game, they had 1 sack and 3 TFLs and a really, really low pressure rate. So they really struggled in that game to get consistent pressure and get home against Josh Allen. And I know he's a quarterback that looks like a tight end. Granted, it is hard to bring that guy down anyway, but the fact that they didn't get the pressure shows that the system didn't quite work. However, they lost that game 23-20 whilst only recording 1 sack and 3 TFLs. So the rest of the defense managed to do a number keeping Josh Allen under wraps despite not being able to get pressure on him. So my opinion is this will be a close game. We'll probably lose it. But if we can get home and get some pressure on Josh Allen, we know that Mike Mack's defense is a Josh Allen stopper.
Agreed. For me, I just look at the depth chart and you've got Allen, then their running back, James Cook. Is he as good as people think or not? And then wide receivers. When you've got Marcus Valdez-Scantling and Chase Claypool in your wide receiver room, it says a lot. But then you've got Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, who I think has become most people's favorite wide receiver drafted after seeing his press conferences. And then you've got Curtis Samuel. I think wide receiver wise, they're not much of a threat, if I'm being completely honest. I really want to see Keon Coleman doing well because I think he's an absolute dude. But
he reminds me, for any of our UK listeners, you might find this funny. He reminds me of an athletic American Carl Pilkington. Just because for any American viewers, Yeah, Carl Pilkington is an editor that used to work with Ricky Gervais, and he's well known in Britain for just saying things before he thinks about them and everyone finding it funny, but he's just an unintentional comedian. And he really reminds me of Keon Coleman with just the way he says things, some of the, just off the cuff things that are just hilarious that weren't intended to be funny. Sometimes it's just, he's
I love
so
his
good.
press conference, just amazing. Just talking about buying his jackets and stuff. And then at the end of it going, can I take a cookie? And then Nike sent him loads of new jackets, and randomly at his locker, a fan had sent him a thing of Chips Ahoy cookies, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't know what they were to start with. I had no idea." And then he said, after a while, I went, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, you." Yeah,
He is funny.
I'll be watching him if he's ever on the podium, I will be watching that, like, without question. So I've got that down as a win. You've got that down as a loss. So my current results, I've got us at 5-3. You've got us at 4-4.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Which then leads us on to another interdivisional game on November 3rd against the LA Rams. Now, this is what I started thinking about when we were looking at these Premier teams before. When you look at losing to people like you've got the Dolphins for you as well. There's another one, the Lions, the Niners, and for you the Broncos. I think this is where it's going to be.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, the Bills. Sorry, the Broncos.
Yeah.
Pardon.
Nobody thinks we're losing to the Broncos.
That won't happen. I think that is where the defense will have learnt some hard lessons and will want to come out all guns blazing. And I think as well, Ryan Grubb's offense will be clicking by them. I've got this down as a big old, but not a big old W. I've got it down as a chess match between McVay and Mike Mack, but I've got us coming out with a W at home.
I like it. I've got us losing.
Of course,
I've got us losing. And I've put there the very first McVay Mike Mack showdown, and here's why I think we lose this game. Right, McVay is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, offensive mind in a head coach position in the NFL currently. Mm-hmm. The opposite could be said for Mike Mack in that it's on the defensive side, right? But could well be the best defensive mind in a head coach position on our side. The difference is McVay's been doing this with a lot of his offensive guys, players like Puka Nacua, who have come in and picked it up straight away. Cooper Kupp, the fact that they've now got Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, unbelievable running back tandem. They've got better. They already beat us last year. Mike Mack's chess pieces are less experienced in this system than McVay's. At this point in time, I think it's a close game. We look far better against them than we did last year, but I think we just get shaded out by the fact that the chess pieces are slightly more experienced on the offensive side.
You have become the pod's pessimist. Just putting out there.
Only for the first time. You haven't seen how our season winds up.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Right.
Ride it out with me.
All right. We've then got a bye at a reasonable time. Week 10, a bye week, not week 4 bye. Week
5, I think it was. Yeah.
Week 5.
And that's far greater. That is it. That is what I've got some notes, like just some hot takes at the end when we've done this. Mentioning the bye is part of that. I think that's a really good time to be taking a little breather. For me, at that point, we're 4-5 as well. For you, we're what? Opposite 5-4,
6-3.
6-3. Oh, crikey.
However, I then have quite a few banana skins in this latter part, so I think we're going to be differing on this.
All the way through. We've done this really well.
Pretty much. We then come back from our bye, and we get to go and play in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium on November 17th against the San Francisco 49ers.
I've got one line as my note here. A Seahawks win in Santa Clara. Who'd have thunk it? That's my that is my line here. I think by the time we play them the second time round, I think they'll be a little bit surprised on just how well we can draw up a game to stop them. Also, this deep into the season, I expect the limbs to have fallen off Christian McCaffrey, some of their offensive line. I think an ACL here and there on the defense again, maybe an Achilles. You know, they have an absolute stacked roster with win now veterans, and they are not as elastic as the rookie deep rosters like ours, and the wear and tear on them shows. I think season after season we see men down on that roster that are key pieces. So I think our roster's looking a little healthier. We're a little more experienced. We've already had a thrashing off them earlier in the year. Mike Mack knows what to do here, and I think we come away with a win. Smash and grab.
I've got this down as another L.
Can't believe you. So pessimistic.
I know. Shocking. And purely because, and this is, like you said, they've got win now veterans. If they do have all those injuries, it'll be a lot closer. But I see this with Shanahan's offense, with the game plan being set in place for them for so long with these veterans that they'll still be able to motor through. I still have them winning the division. I think they'll get a sweep on us this year. Next year, I think we'll see a totally different view on that. But yeah, I've got this as a loss. So you're 5-5, and I'm 6-4.
Lovely.
We then come back home, and we come back home against the Arizona Cardinals on November 24th.
A much improved Cardinals side that still can't beat us. That's a dub, and I can't see any other way of approaching that other than expecting to win it, and also needing that to be a win. A home game against the Cardinals, when the two Rams games and the two 49ers games are such difficult ones. Mm-hmm. No matter how much they've improved, you really do have to be looking for two Cardinals wins, and I think we get it at home for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Now the next one, week 13, on the 1st of December, in New York against the Jets. This is my banana skin. This is my first banana skin. Because if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, with the wealth of talent they've put around him, providing that, Salah has not crapped the bed, I think this will be a close fought loss. Because I think playing someone like Rodgers, who can read a defense so well, and if they don't get rid of Hackett, we know that Rodgers is basically calling all the plays and changed everything at the line anyway. I've got this down as an L.
Same reasons. I think there's one way in which we can really dominate this game and come away with a win, and that is if we can exploit a particularly patchy Jets offensive line and get to Rodgers. He is going to be. I've never seen him particularly bullied and sacked and whatnot. He's always been fairly protected. But then week one last year, he was not particularly well protected. In fact, it took all of 10 minutes for him to have a season-ending injury. I hope that is still the case next year. He may not even be playing in that game if they.
He will have been in like a dark meditation state by then, and sleeping in like natural cryo chambers and flying out to Norway for hot springs or whatever. You want to carry on actually earn his money, because the last thing he'll want for his legacy is that you were great in Green Bay, then you went to New York with all these expectations laid upon you, and you did nothing. So I think he's going to work his butt off now to try and stay healthy and steer this franchise to some sort of respectful position. I'm not going to win the Super Bowl, but respectful position. But he
can't protect himself. He can't play center or guard or tackle as well as quarterback. And and I think they struggle to keep him upright. But that's the thing that keeps this close. I think the fact that he might be running for his life a little bit, and will be playing with 7 or 8 players at the line of scrimmage, so could be a factor.
We then, so we both had that as a, but I had that as a loss. You had
we both had a loss. Well. I'm 6-6.
Yep, and I am 7-5.
Yeah.
On week 14, December the 8th, we go to Arizona to the cursed field, and we play the Cardinals again.
7-6, baby.
Okay.
I'm not losing. I'm not entertaining losing that game. We go there, we come away with a dub. No, nothing else. Tell me you calling that a banana skin.
No, I'm not, but I'm trying to think of a world where it could be. And you know what?
There is no world.
There is no world. No, I can't. I can't. So that's nice and easy. We don't even need to go into that one in more depth. We've already done it once. Now the next one on December 15th. Primetime game, this, isn't it?
New quarterback number 4, please.
Well, Green Bay.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I thought it was Vikings. No, you're right. It's Packers first, then Green Vikings. Bay. Yeah. Okay, save that.
And this one, I have racked my brain so much about what it's going to be. And Green Bay haven't played back at Lumen, well, since it was named Lumen. But the heat in which they were picking up, they were generating at the tail end of last season, if they kick on with that this season, Jordan Love as the quarterback, I think this might be a loss.
I've got it as a loss. But it's a shame as well, because if we do beat them, it would be the 5th straight home win over the Packers. Yeah. They don't travel to us very well, and we do not travel to them very well. So conceding one on our own turf feels particularly bad. But you're absolutely right in that they are an ascending franchise right now, with the way that offense is working. However, I do think that I don't want to call them one-dimensional with that offense, because if it keeps working, it is good. Do you know what I mean? But I do think with a very good defensive coordinator now as our head coach, I feel like we can nullify some of that. And I think they'll struggle against us, and it is home. I've just put close loss. Yeah, so
I feel the same. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a really close one. Yeah. But again, I'm caveating all of this for anyone that says we're a pessimist or anything like that. This is Mike Mack's first season with new players, putting in his new scheme. So expect some of these. And if it happens, fine. Provided we don't look awful, I don't care. As long as we keep seeing gradual improvement throughout, that's what I'm bothered about. So both got down as an L, which puts you to 7-7.
7-7.
That's the one. And then I'm at 8-6, which then leads us on to our final home game of the season on December 22nd. Nothing like a short turnaround for the next two, against the Minnesota Vikings. Is it another rookie quarterback?
QB number 4, please. Yeah, new quarterback number 4. Come on down. I think this one is a dub. I got it down as a dub. I think we're purring at this point, and it's a typical Seahawks season if I've ever seen one, in that we've had a good spell in the season with some of the initial games. We've had a difficult mid-season, and then it is, what do we actually need to make the playoffs, and can we win out for the rest of these games? And I think the Vikings is the first of 3 games there that are basically win out and make the playoffs. And I think we get this win at home. Honestly,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. This is going to be that one of those. Well, this whole season is going to be. It's JJ McCarthy actually the player that people pegged him to be, or is he the player that other people said, yeah, watch, because he's not what you think. So I've got that as a dub as well. And then on Boxing Day, December 26th, in Chicago, we go to the Bears, and then we have to call up.
QB number 5, please.
There we go. the one and only Caleb Williams, but also another hometown hero in Rome Odunze. Now,
Yes.
the serendipity of those two getting on so well pre-draft, and then having all these photo ops together, then the draft happened and they both get drafted to the Bears. Fair play. Well, I can't argue with that. That being said,
yeah, smash them into the floor and get a dub. I'm calling I'm calling this a 9-7 record at this point. A resounding win over the Bears in their own backyard. They are a better franchise looking at the talent level than last year, but there is also a level of shake-up that's gone on there with personnel that I think is going to hold them back. I think by this point in the season as well, we are looking like a mean machine, and we make the playoffs. We always, granted, not last year, but we're a franchise that are used to perennially making the playoffs, right? So, bit between the teeth, carrot dangled, systems working, coaching all bedding in, go and smash the Bears.
Also, you've got to look at the fact that they've now got Shane Waldron calling their offense, and if it's anything like it was for us, then
I hadn't thought about
that. They're big players. Roma Odunze will have a fantastic game one week, and then he'll just get forgotten about for weeks on end, or he'll make some spectacular catches during a game and then never touch the ball again. So, yeah, I've got that as a dub as well. Then the final game. So that was after a very quick turnaround. That's 4 days where we go from playing on December 22nd, and then we have a few days, Christmas Day, and then you have the 26th against the Bears. Oh, yeah. Who needs a holiday period when you're playing the NFL? And then you've got January the 4th or 5th to be decided in LA against the Rams.
Get that dub. Making the playoffs, baby. Let's go. That's a win.
Do you know what? I've got that down as a loss.
Interesting. Have we both ended up at 10-7? That's incredible. Yeah, I've put in this scenario, we're likely playing for a playoff berth. We're playing the Rams. And I think this is where Mike Mack gets one over on McVay. I don't think they'll have both games, and I think this is the way round it goes. And I love the fact that it will be potentially a win to make the playoffs as well. I do also think we could make it into the playoffs with a 9-8 as well. But looking at the teams for me, the teams I've drawn up that we've lost against, the Niners, the Lions, and the Packers, I don't know if that hurts us too much, because I think the Packers probably win their division. So they're not someone we're fighting for a wild card spot. Mm-hmm. The Lions, I think, will win theirs as well. The only real painful loss there for divisional record is the Rams. But if we're 1-1, it's not too bad. So I think that becomes a really important fixture in our season.
So there we go. We are both at 10-7 this season. So let us know what you think. One person who has come in as well again. Oh man, UK 12 man. So he said the record. Oh, very posh. The record for him, it doesn't matter too much this year. It's just he just wants to say that all he wants to say is that he wants to see us play hard, a working, aggressive team that improves game by game. That is exactly what we've been saying, and I think you've hit the nail on the head there. This season, we're not expecting anything. Our predictions may be well off. But as long as I can see an upward trend in our performance, in our communication, in our personnel, everything like that, then I am more than happy. That'd do me to a T. I mean, if anyone has got any comments on how we did, how you thought it went, let us know. We are more than happy to hear. But with that was our schedule breakdown. Mitch, are you ready? I need to get theme music.
I'm absolutely not ready. But
You're not ready.
Let's get this humiliating failure out of the way, so I can warm the feet of the leaderboard for the rest of the season.
Well, the leaderboard will be published after this pod. Currently sitting atop as the lone player is Clinton Bonner, who scored 7 out of 12 after my epic miscounting on the pod. I was under pressure, okay? But from the Seahawks pod, Clinton Bonner sitting at the top, 7 out of 12. Now, if any of you that are watching want to appear on the pod and have something to say during the off-season, during the season, just hit us up. Let us know. You can come on and you will be asked, not the same questions, but some movie quotes. Let's see if you can get above Clinton or anyone else that comes on. We've got some amazing guests lined up, actually. We've got one confirmed after the first preseason game, which I will pop on socials closer to the time when we know exactly what date we're going to record. But Mitch, are you ready to rumble? So
I'm ready to crumble.
Yeah, are you ready to crumble? So play along at home. If you want to let us know what your score was, pop it in the comments or tweet us or put it on the recording of this pod. I'll do it a bit differently on this, just so people can play along at home. Okay. Before I reveal the answer to you, I will let you know. If you get it right, I'll say yes. If you get it wrong, then we'll leave it and I'll tell you at the end. Question 1. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
That's a bad start for me. That's an L. No chance.
All right. Next one you should get. I mean, funny. Like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
Really? I do feel like I should get this, actually. It rings a bell, but I couldn't tell you what that's from. I'm going to kick myself on that one, aren't I?
Probably. Okay. And then question 3. How'd you like them apples?
That's terrible, because I know that's a film I've watched a lot of times.
And the film is also mocked in another film by one of my favorite directors, but we'll get onto that after. If you don't get this next one, after the trial run we did the other week, I thought I'll try and throw you a couple. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
That's Apocalypse Now.
Hurrah!
That's that one I can get. Okay, I'm on the scoreboard.
There we go. We're on. We started.
It's not going to be a 0 for me.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, Jerry Maguire? Jerry Maguire? What's the film?
That he does quote it in that, so I could give you half a point, but it's not the original.
Damn it. Okay. Well, that's a half. I'll take it. That's fine.
I'll give you a half because I'm feeling generous. I can't believe I'm putting half scores in. It's because I like you. That's what it is.
It's I'm doing terribly. I'm not challenging the top of the board at this point.
Sympathy points. Is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you may come screaming through at the end. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, poof, he's gone.
This one I should know as well. Yes.
Do you want me to give you a clue? It is right at the end of the film, in a transformative moment for one of the characters. Literally transformative as well.
Constantine.
No.
I don't know. I do know what it is. You'll tell me, and I'll be like, I'll kick myself.
Yeah. Question 7. Are you suggesting that coconuts migrate?
No, that's not a line I've ever heard before.
Oh, my word. The next one, because we're a family-friendly pod, I will have to improvise, but I'm going to have to science the is out of this. quick tip or quick hint, it's got Matt Damon and he's alone for most of the movie. If you've not seen it, watch it. It's brilliant.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I mean, Jason Bourne.
No. A boy's best friend is his mother.
Man,
unless you're Oedipus, then
people are going to think I'm sucking at this on purpose, man. But genuinely, that is alien to me.
That's fine.
Sorry,
it wasn't alien. So
I probably should have guessed that anyway, right? Rather than just giving out.
There you go. Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your life extraordinary. Classic film. Great actor.
Oh God,
Sadly
this one
departed.
I do know. This one I'll get myself on as well. Why does my brain recall football stats but not movie quotes? Because I watch an awful lot of movies. People are going to think I just rewatch Seahawks games or something and never watch movies. I watch so many films. No, I'm not going to get this one either.
Okay.
How many have we done? Because this is humiliating.
This is 10. We're on 11 now.
Okay, this is bad.
If you don't get this one, I've had to take the character's name out of the first bit. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
I've heard that quote before, but I couldn't tell you what that is.
I'm going to give you, because I feel really bad now. I'm going to give you a massive hint. We were messaging the other day, and I mentioned the greatest work of fiction, and your response was,
"Yeah, this is Lord of the Rings," but I think it's it probably. Do you need the which one it is? I think it's Return of the King, right?
It is. There you go. Bosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. There we go. I threw that one in especially for you.
Well, you knew I knew the film because we talked about it the other day. Yeah.
Exactly. And number 12. I'm kind of like the leader here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you. I had to try really hard not to do the accent then as well.
A film where someone's made of rocks. God, this should be obvious now.
Do you know, I'd love to have like a reverse camera view of the people that are watching now, just shouting, going, "It's this! It's this!"
I mean, they're not helping me by putting it in the comments, are they? Good. Damn it, man.
You done?
That one's gonna kill me. Yeah, this is gonna be terrible. What was this? 2.5? 2.5 out of 12?
2.5. So first one, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Never watched it. So, but I know the film, but I've never watched it.
I'm going to buy you one of those posters. It's like a scratch off of the 100 greatest movies you must watch before you die. My friend's got one.
Is it in there?
Yeah, Ferris says it.
I swear I've watched IMDb's top 200. Like literally.
If it's not in there, it should.
It might be. Yeah, I know it's famous. So, probably right.
I mean, funny like a clown. I amuse you. Goodfellas. How do you like them apples? Parodied. Here we go. Look. Our man's back again. Don't worry, Mitch.
He's got my back. Thanks, man.
The name of the film.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
How do you like them apples? Parodied as well by Kevin Smith in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It is Good Will Hunting. I love smelling napalm in the morning.
Robin Williams said the line, right? Yeah, I should. Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't. How do you like them apples? Was Matt Damon, where he goes to the bar and gets the girl's number, slams it on the. Yeah, that's right.
Mini Driver, right?
That's the one.
You love that. I love that I can name the actors in the film, but not a clue about a famous line in it. God damn it, man.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist, and like that poof, he's gone. The Usual Suspects.
That's one I should have got as well.
Are you suggesting that coconuts migrate? Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay, I've seen it. I'm wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to have to science the shiz out of this. The Martian, another Matt Damon film. Totally without meaning to. I got loads of Matt Damon and Robin Williams films in this. A boy's best friend is his mother. Is Psycho. Carpe diem, seize the day, boys. Make your life extraordinary is the Dead Poet Society.
Never watched it.
Great film, Robin Williams again. I can't carry you, but I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. You got that. And the next one, I'm kind of like the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you, as you can see. I'm not even going to bother. I think my mother-in-law, being a Kiwi herself, would probably kill me. But that is said by Korg in Thor Ragnarok. So, Mitch, co-host of the 12 Talk podcast.
Terrible.
You have 2.5, which puts you in second place.
Yeah, until we've got through about 10, and then I will be 10th.
That's
but
it.
What I've done here is I've made it so that no one else that does this in this series can ever do worse. So the pressure's off, really.
I like it, mate. I like it. I think you've done it for our guests.
I've tanked, if anything, to bringing it back to football. I've tanked my quiz season, so I'm picking next in the quiz draft. Obviously, like picking first.
Next season, if we do another type of quiz, I'll ask you, and then we'll see if you can improve. With that, I mean, Mitch, is there anything else you want to add to the end of the pod as it is?
Yeah, please never ask me a movie question again.
Okay.
No, it's been good. I feel like I'm really relieved that we came to a similar consensus with our records. I think it's funny that we went different ways about it, picked out different games that were coin flips, and we ended up in the same spot. I do think 10-7, 9-8 is what we should be looking at as a good season for this year, which is a year of change. I do think that is realistic, and that is a good result.
Completely agree. I've got nothing else to add apart from thank you everyone who tuned in live. If you're tuning in on the recording of this, thank you so much. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share this with your mum, your dad, your brother, your nan, whoever's a Seahawks fan who you think might be interested. We really appreciate it. You're really helping the channel grow. Thanks to all our new subscribers as well. You can find us on YouTube, X, we're on Instagram, we've got a Facebook page. Join it if you like. If not, feel free to follow us. We are on all your favorite podcasting apps. And we've also got our Discord, as I mentioned earlier. I'm sat next to the king of the Discord. Well, virtually anyway. There he is. Look at that face. And yeah, there was in the dark now. But yeah, you can join our Discord, talk to Seahawks fans around the world about whatever topics are coming on, and we are more than happy. I dip in there every now and again with some nonsense, sometimes maybe a meme or a GIF, and I'm out. But apart from that, I just want to say a massive thanks again to everyone for joining in. Make sure you tell us any of your comments on this. You can comment on the post, ping us a message. If you don't want everyone else to see it, we're more than happy to have a chat with you. And if you want to appear, slide into our DMs where Mitch or I will be waiting with open arms to welcome you, and we'll arrange to get you on the pod and you can say your piece during the off season or the season. With that, I think the last thing to do, Mitch, is to say a hearty go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Peace.